Continuation 13. The glory and prominence of devotional service is not at all subordinate to karma, jnana, or uncontrolled sense gratification. The devotees firmly believe that they will never fall prey to insignificant greed. But those persons who, due to their duplicitous nature, do not understand the real characteristics of devotional service, and who, due to their fruitive mentality, consider devotional service as another category of karma kanda, quickly commit offenses at the feet of devotees and fall down into the kingdom of sin. As a result of their offenses, they are greatly disturbed by various impediments, beginning with caste consciousness, such as considering themselves Brahmins, attached to occupations like giving and receiving charity, and ultimately their own envious mentality. These fruitive workers who are envious of the devotees are swallowed by false ego in the form of considering Govardhan Shila, the life and soul of the Paramahamsas, as stone, considering Vaishnavas as belonging to a particular caste, and lack of faith in the water that has washed the feet of the Harijans. The devotees, however, are not greedy, foolish, or weak like them. Translation. Taking a straw in my teeth, I fall at your feet hundreds of times and humbly appeal to you, saying, O saintly persons, please give up your path of advancement and its goal. Forget about following the principles of varnashram. Disregard religiosity and irreligiosity. Remain equal to pious and impious activities, and do not consider bondage or liberation. Simply cultivate attachment for the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. End translation. Unless one possesses unalloyed devotion, he cannot have the good fortune to receive initiation or teachings on devotional service from a spiritual master. If a person is careless, then after obtaining mantras and the process for worshiping the Lord through oral reception, they become the source of material attachment. Those who give up duplicity and properly hear the topics of Hari from a bona fide spiritual master, and whose ears are able to properly receive such topics, only they are able to repeat the same words. The very same mercy and teachings that Tridandi Prabhu Sri Prabodhananda received from Sriman Mahaprabhu were preserved by him in verses for the benefit of future devotees. Those who have a taste for the mood of Prabodhananda are worthy of being called Vaishnavas. Otherwise, one simply wanders about searching for insignificant eatables like banana stalks, dal balls, and drumsticks. Now that Lord Chaitanya Chandra has revealed the path of pure devotional service, the materialists have given up talking about their wives, children, and material affairs. The scholars have given up debating the scriptures. The yogis have given up the trouble to control their breath. The ascetics have given up their austerities, and the impersonalists have given up studying Vedanta. Being attracted by the sweet beauty of devotional service to Krishna, all the shopkeepers have stopped selling their insignificant wares. End translation. Such is the uncommon influence of devotional service. Unless one realizes the beauty of devotional service, he continues to traverse the path of karma, jnana, and sense gratification. The poet Svaryagna says, translation, O my Lord, your devotee considers the ocean as a palmful of water, the brilliant sun as a firefly, Mount Meru as a stone, a king as a servant, a touchstone as an ordinary stone, a desire tree as ordinary wood, the whole material world as straw, and above all, his own body as a burden. End translation. The foolish, materialistic karmis who are attached to their bodies consider, quote, I am this body, and this body is mine, end quote, and thus differentiate between their relatives and others. They see the wonder of material objects and hanker after them. Vaishnavas, however, do not have such a low mentality. They are the best of all persons, and therefore cannot be compared with selfish, greedy karmis. The Vaishnav saint, Sri Madhva Saraswati Pad, has stated, translation, those followers of Jaimini, Gautama, and Kanada, whose eyes of knowledge have been contaminated by Purva, Mimamsa, and the related Karmakanda, who are proud of being materialistic, whose intelligence is crude, and who have no faith in the Supreme Lord, always remain far separated from discussions on the topics of Lord Hari. Due to being bereft of association with the devotees of the Lord, who enjoys pastimes with the goddesses of fortune, such persons cannot relish the nectarine essence of the scriptures, even though they understand the purport of the scriptures, just as a spoon is unable to relish the same palatable foodstuffs that it serves. End translation. Materialistic philosophers who carry the burden of sense enjoyment like asses are devoid of the service attitude towards Sri Purushottama, and are thus unqualified for relishing the devotional service of Lord Hari. The karmis, jnanis, and unregulated sense enjoyers are unable to understand the glories of devotional service. The Vaishnavas, however, are not frustrated like the karmis. A Vaishnav saint named Pandit Dhananjaya has stated, translation, O Lord Vasudeva, since four-headed Brahma, other progenitors of the demigods, and other living entities pray to you, since great yogis like Mahadev meditate on you, and since Indra, the king of heaven, and the other demigods are your servants, then who are we? Does this mean that we have no qualification for devotional service? End translation. Along with this verse, another verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam comes to mind. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.26 states, translation, the glories of high birth as a Brahmin or demigod, the glories of opulence equal to that of Kuvera, the glories of sages who strictly follow the Vedas, and the glories of beauty equal to that of Cupid, simply increase the madness of materialists. Therefore, O Hari, you are the Lord of the poor, and as such, materially prosperous persons have no taste, opportunity, or qualification for chanting your holy names. End translation. Vaishnavism is the only wealth of the poor. False prestige and dominance, which are the assets of the non-devotees, are not aspired for by Vaishnavas. The wealth of the Vaishnavas is Lord Hari. Being maddened with excessive material attachment and being either puffed up from cheap Brahminical prestige and learning, or from the cheap wealth of the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, people disrespect the swan-like Vaishnavas, and as a result of sinful activities become non-devotees. Since the Harijans, who are poor, fallen, indifferent to material enjoyment, and dedicated to serving Lord Hari, do not desire to accumulate material assets, understanding that desires for high Brahminical birth, opulence, knowledge of the Vedas, and beauty equal to Cupid are all useless, they therefore engage in chanting the glories of Lord Hari, free from the desires for engaging both in Brahminical ritualistic ceremonies, and study of the Vedas, both of which aim at sense gratification. In brief, the prestige of the Brahmins, expert in Vedic study, the opulence of the Kshatriyas, having vast wealth, followers, and kingdom, and the prosperity of the Vaishyas, wealth and beauty obtained through farming and trade, are not qualifications for becoming a Vaishnava. They are simply means of bondage to material enjoyment, which is due to disinterest in devotional service and which increases one's godlessness. Because the Vaishnavas are not busy for such insignificant things, they are more humble than the straw, more tolerant than a tall tree, not interested in personal prestige, and are always ready to respect others. In this way, they attain devotional service to Lord Hari. Moreover, after completing their term, the demigods, who are situated on the highest platform in the kingdom of fruitive activities, attain the position of Vaishnavas due to their influence of their devotion for the Lord. But their exalted position is glorified only for the benefit of the conditioned souls. Then one's identification with pure Vaishnavism is awakened. If a powerful person is capable of killing innumerable living entities, yet instead of misusing his power he remains peaceful, that does not mean that he lacks power. Similarly, even though Lord Brahma and his descendants, headed by the Brahmins, may consider that becoming a Vaishnava is the highest goal of life, the position of a living entity who has actually acquired the taste for serving Krishna is even higher. Such persons are confidential associates of the Lord. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ancha 4, 66 through 68, Sriman Mahaprabhu has instructed Sri Sanatan as follows. Translation. A person born in a low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to Lord Krishna, nor is one fit for devotional service simply because he is born in an aristocratic family of Brahmins. Anyone who takes to devotional service is exalted, whereas a non-devotee is always condemned and abominable. Therefore, in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord, there is no consideration of the status of one's family. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always favorable to the humble and meek, but aristocrats, learned scholars, and the wealthy are always proud of their positions. End translation.